When you think of space, you might think of things like planets and galaxies, but many of us have thought about whether or not life exists out there in the vastness of space. It's a question that's been asked time and time again. Are we alone in the universe? NASA scientists have said there's over 100 billion planets in the Milky Way galaxy alone, and there's hundreds of millions of galaxies, all teeming with millions or billions of planets. This makes the likelihood of there being life in our universe very high. This is why NASA and other space agencies are now making it their goal to visit various systems in the hopes of finding life. It's likely it will happen. The question is when and how long will it take? For all we know, there could be life only a couple of million miles away, and when you're talking about space, billions of miles is a very small distance. However, there's some people who have captured interesting photos throughout the years, and say that these help prove that we're not alone in the universe. One of my subscribers sent me this photograph, and said that it was taken alongside the International Space Station. They managed to quickly snap a photograph of the strange object, but couldn't explain what it was. At first they speculated that it may have been a satellite, but then thought it was likely too close to be one. I shared this image to a few groups to get their opinions. Some said the object in question doesn't look like a piece of space junk, going on to say it has sharp edges and even looks to be in the shape of a triangle. Others carried on from this and said that it's either producing light, or light's bouncing off the object which allows us to see it, also stating that it's too detailed to be a random piece of space debris. What's interesting about these types of photographs is that there's many like this. UFO researchers have been vocal about the fact that the International Space Station is actually a hotspot for UFO activity, and that every year many strange objects can be seen around the space station cameras. Sometimes these objects around the cameras are not seen for long, as they can be seen making a quick exit, while others can be seen zipping past at extremely high speeds. Skeptics who have seen these types of images suggest that what people are seeing is just space debris, and sometimes they can take on different forms that make them look like UFOs. Further saying that there's thousands of pieces of space debris above our planet, and it's likely that that's what people are seeing. Those who have watched the live cams and have studied these images though have said this isn't what people are seeing, pointing out that when these objects come within the live cam's view, NASA shuts off the feed. They asked that if these were just space debris, then why do the cameras always shut off when they come into view? This has happened on a number of occasions, with UFO researchers saying that it proves that something is going on that NASA doesn't want us to know about. In the past, news stations have tried to reach out to NASA to get an answer for what they think these objects are, but 99% of the time they fail to give an answer. Skeptics have also said that people don't understand that a lot of events happen above our planet, with one of the most common ones being that of meteorites entering our atmosphere. They've said that people who aren't used to this sight will confuse this with things like UFOs, when in reality what they're witnessing is something that happens all the time. Well, one believer said the following: "This is one of the problems we're facing when it comes to things like UFOs being seen close to the International Space Station. People are so quick to deny it. I think at this point we all need to understand that it's obvious that something is going on. I'm not saying that every one of these things is an unidentified flying object, but to say that every single one can be explained away as space debris is just ignorant. It's clear that government officials are interested in the UFO phenomena, as declassified documents show us that they've been researching these things for several decades, and when they close down one of these projects that's been assigned to UFOs, they usually open up another one soon after. It's clear that there's something we're not being told about when it comes to the subject of UFOs. The more we deny it, the more we dig ourselves a hole, and the harder it will be to open our minds to things we don't understand. For the past 5 years, government officials have been dropping hints that they know about these crafts. I hope that there will be an announcement soon, and that we can all start moving forward. End quote. Right now there's still people that believe these objects are not natural, and that some photographs show what looks like crafts under intelligent control. In some cases, people have reported that these objects will suddenly cover a vast distance in a matter of seconds, or that they've witnessed these crafts making a 360-degree turn and then shoot away. They say that we don't have the technology to be able to do this, and it's one of the reasons why they think something is going on. Although it's easy to dismiss some of these claims, it's important to have an open mind about these objects and the subject in general. When it comes to the universe, we are monumentally small and inconsequential. There's quadrillions of planets scattered all throughout the universe, and all you need is one of them to be 100,000 years ahead of us, and potentially you'd have a civilization 100,000 years more advanced. Think how much we've achieved in the last 100 years alone. So is it really out there to think that an advanced civilization could exist somewhere in the universe? Sadly, scientists have said that every year around 2,000 whale strandings happen. The high majority of these end up taking the life of the animal. The beaching of a single whale is normally due to a sickness, with researchers saying these individual strandings are not rare, but when mass beach happenings occur, it's usually us humans that are to blame. A few years back though, marine experts were baffled when they discovered a whale 800 meters from the shore. The discovery was made in Skeffing in East Yorkshire, England. Once biologists inspected the animal, they said it measured in at just over 33 feet, saying that the animal passed away after coming too close to the shore. Andy Gibson, an expert from the Yorkshire Wildlife Trust, said the following: "It's sad. It was in shallow waters of about 4 to 5 feet, making contact with the bottom. This was around 800 meters offshore. When it gets in that situation, it rolls onto its side and can cover its blowhole. Sometimes whales come into shallow waters looking for food and get stuck. With the high tide, the whale probably got carried up to the salt marsh, got pushed back further inshore, and then got stuck when the tide went out." End quote. Others though said it was strange how it's found so far in, and that researchers are not sure why there's been a huge rise in whale strandings. Various theories have been put forward to try and explain why this happened, with one scientist saying they've been studying our ocean currents, and theorized that due to changes it's caused colder streams of Arctic water to come into shallower regions, which confuses the animal and leads them to beaching themselves. Researchers have said that our oceans are getting busier, and this in turn is directly affecting these whales. Discovered as early as 1822 by Daniel Collodon, sonar was used in an effort to detect submarines. Though Paul Langevin had invented the first sonar-like device in 1915, it was unfortunately too late to help the war effort, and sonar as we know it today wouldn't start making waves until navies began using it during World War II. Although an incredibly helpful tool during these times, it's safe to say that navies were not considering the impact on marine life when first using sonar. Sonar, which is short for sound navigation and ranging, is the use of underwater sound waves to determine the location of objects. There are two different types of sonar, active and passive. Active sonar, which has been commonly used by navies, involves a device known as a transducer that emits a sound pulse into the water. When this sound pulse hits a surface like a submarine or a whale, the pulse reflects back to the transducer, indicating that there is something in the water. These reflection pulses can then be calculated to determine how far away this object or creature is. Passive sonar, on the other hand, utilizes a system that does not emit a sound, and instead listens to detect any sound that comes near it. However, since 2001, it's been determined that active sonar is extremely harmful to whales and other aquatic animals, specifically a type of active sonar referred to as low-frequency active sonar. LFA sonar emits sound at a decibel nearly twice that of a rock concert, and can maintain the decibel of a concert for 300 miles underwater. Not only is this incredibly loud, it's severely detrimental to animals who primarily use long-range sound underwater to communicate with each other, to find food and to navigate. LFA sonars also cause hearing loss and hemorrhages in whales and dolphins, and has contributed to a shocking amount of strandings, also known as beachings, in which many animals have passed away on land, either to being beached or to the severe injuries sustained from LFA sonar. This has massively affected beaked whales, a type of whale that typically dives deeper in the ocean. The United States Navy authorization of using LFA sonar has come under legal battle more than once, and in 2012 it was found the Navy was in violation of the Marine Mammals Protection Act of 1972. When brought to court, it was ruled that the National Marine Fisheries Service was not doing enough to protect sea life from the Navy, and the National Marine Fisheries Services have put limitations on the Navy's use of LFA sonar. However, despite evidence of its harmful effects on aquatic animals, the Navy is still permitted to use LFA sonar in our oceans. This isn't the only recent whale discovery. Strangely, multiple whale species have dropped the pitch in their voices over the last few decades. Whale vocalization, often referred to as whale songs, is the low-frequency sounds that whales produce to communicate with each other. However, since 1960, it's been discovered that some species of whales, including different kinds of blue whales and fin whales, have lowered the pitch of their sounds. Some of these whale songs are in such a low frequency that they're barely audible, if at all, to the human ear. At first it was believed that these whales had changed their vocalizations due to how loud the ocean was. The theory was that the underwater noises caused by ships had impacted the whales' lives to the point of them entirely changing the way they speak. While some whales have adapted to this change in noise, by waiting for ships to pass by before communicating, it's been proven that this theory is false. The new frequency that whales speak in is quieter than their usual songs, but more importantly, while some whales do live in areas with high traffic, it was found that even whales that don't live in an area that has a high volume of marine traffic have lowered their vocalization. This has left scientists with two leading theories, both of which could be working in tandem. One theory is that the sound now travels further distances in the ocean. Specifically, this theory claims that climate change has altered the pH level of water in our oceans. Because of greenhouse gas emissions, the carbon dioxide level in the ocean has increased, and has made the water more acidic. This acidic water has caused sound waves to travel further than non-acidic water, meaning that this new environment has led whales to speak at a quieter, more appropriate volume. The other theory is that whales don't have to speak as loud anymore because there are more whales that are closer to them. Though it may be a strange way to put it, this is simply claiming that the whale population has increased. Sadly, many species of whales are classified as endangered, since they were hunted to the point of near extinction. At the beginning of the 20th century, blue whales had a population of over 200,000, but by 1972 they were down to 360. Since then, conservation efforts have become more serious, and whale populations have rebounded. So what do you make of these discoveries? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.